If I could summarize 2014, I would say it was a challenging year, particularly on the economic front, which translates into job opportunities being difficult, particularly for young people. And in a very challenging economy, persons tend to turn more to their political representatives for solutions to their various problems. What I've tried to focus on are a couple of things. On the infrastructure side, we have had issues with roads, and also we have spent some money putting in community centers. We have built a new community center in the Manaltree community. We have fixed a number of roads in the Vineyard Town division. But more importantly, I would say, in developing the human capital. The biggest issue, as I noted, is the lack of job opportunities. And while as a member of parliament, I've tried to facilitate persons with opportunities as they arise, my focus has been on creating training opportunities so that persons can be equipped, not just for the world of work, but also for creating their own opportunities. So for example, we did an online, Internet Income Jamaica did an online training program for members of the constituency to look at how they could use the internet to make money online. We did a financial literacy workshop, again for persons. We get a lot of requests for persons who want to start small businesses. They want to do some form of buying and selling. But many of them are not exposed to how to manage their money properly, manage their accounts, and even at an individual level. So we had a financial literacy course which was facilitated by Christ Church in Vineyard Town, and a number of persons went through that.
I want you to tell members of the public how much money is allocated each fiscal year for the MPs to use, and how do you prioritize in your constituency? Is it a situation where you come up with the ideas, or is it a collaborative effort?
Well, right now it's $14 million that is available to each member of parliament. Each year I host 2 constituency development fund consultations where I invite members of the constituency to come. We discuss the work over the last year. We take suggestions and ideas about what they would like to see done. Now, as you can imagine, $14 million is really not a lot of money. I have now, out of the $14 million, the CDF has some prescribed allocations. So, for example, social housing constitutes $1 million, welfare constitutes another $1 million, so that leaves you with 12, which you have to allocate among your various projects. I spend just over $3 million on educational assistance. I spend another $3 million on the summer camp program. I spend $3 million dealing with beautification and cleanup, etc. And then the other monies go to various projects, for example, supporting sporting institutions with gear and equipment, that kind of thing, and other kinds of requests. But $14 million doesn't go very far. And persons, the expectations or the demands that are out there, I mean, are probably 10 or 20 times what the CDF can provide. Now, fortunately, for example, we had 2 rounds of the Jeep program, which allowed me to deal with road repairs, also to build a community center. So that has helped all the MPs in terms of additional work, infrastructure work that you can undertake in your constituency. I wear 2 hats. Sometime last year, the Prime Minister had asked me to chair a committee to look at how we could deal with electricity theft in my ministerial capacity. We sat down with the JPS and with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund. We decided to launch a pilot project targeting 7 communities in the corporate area that had characteristics of very high electricity theft. I chose one in my own constituency, quite frankly, because as the chairman of the committee, I felt it was important to demonstrate that I was tackling the problem in my own constituency. What have we done? In the McGregor Gardens community, where my estimate is probably 90% of the persons who use electricity don't pay for it. The first thing we had to do with the JPS, we had a number of consultations with the community. We had probably 6 community meetings, consultations to explain what we were doing and how the residents could participate. And the most encouraging thing for me is that many of those who are currently illegally connected expressed a desire to have a legal connection for a number of reasons. One, they said they were just tired of having to dodge the police when the police would come in. And many of them want to have a bill that they can use for other means, for going into a company to buy goods or services. Having something which connects them to a permanent address is important. Now, what have we done? We have done the first phase of improving the infrastructure, because right now the infrastructure would not facilitate legal connections. So JPS had to improve and put in more lines and poles. Secondly, we have installed LED streetlights. Why is that important? LED consumes probably less than a half of what the normal streetlights consume, right? So we have installed the streetlights. 100 homes are going to be selected to be rewired. Now, one of the things people don't know is that if your home is not wired and passed by the government electrical inspector, you cannot access electricity legally.